Joining me now for Getting to Know Reince Priebus, who is chairman of the Republican National Committee. So everybody always asks you this is the first question, so we won't divert from that. Is Reince Priebus, is Reince a family name?
It is. My name's what happens when a Greek and a German get married. So it's sort of a cultural disaster. So my mom was born in Khartoum, Sudan. My dad was in the army in Ethiopia. Even though she was born there, lots of Greeks moved into northern Africa. They got married, moved to the United States, and named your son after the father of the father. And if you ever seen my big fat Greek wedding, you know that's the case. I lived that life.
So then what's your favorite Greek dish?
You know, I go back and forth, but I really like domadas, which is the stuffed grape leaves with the lemon sauce. They have to be hot. And I like uvetsi, which is a sort of like a Greek orzo pasta that has lamb and sort of the Greek red sauce over the top. So those would be my two favorites.
I've learned in the research that you moved from New Jersey to Wisconsin in elementary school.
Yeah, really early.
Can you recall that as whether it was? I mean, New Jersey and Wisconsin are pretty different culturally. Can you remember what that was like?
Yeah, I remember New Jersey a little bit, but we lived in a place called Stanhope, Netcong area of New Jersey. There was a place called Wild West City, which was really cool because you could go there with little cap guns and make believe you're in the Old West. That's what I remember about New Jersey. It was all good, but really when I think about growing up and home, it's Kenosha, Wisconsin, which I just think is you know, the best place in America to live, and I love it when I can go home.
I was going to say, you miss it most of the time, I know that.
I do, and I don't get to go home much, but we still have the house there. It's still home, and when we go back, I've got all my little check boxes that I need to hit when I get back.
All the places you need to go because they have the best this or that or the other thing,
you bet.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
So when you ran for office once, you lost. You quoted one of my favorite country western singers, Garth Brooks, who sang the song, "Some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers."
Yeah.
And looking back, why did it turn out to be a gift to you to lose?
Well, I mean, if I would have won, it was 2004. It was a very Democratic seat. I mean, I was probably a little naive to run, although I came pretty close to winning. I just worked like crazy, almost won. I think if I would have won, then the next year would have been 2008 in a presidential year. I mean, that's where I would have lost. I mean, it would have been hard to hold, but even if you held it, then I wouldn't have been able to run the state party and do what I did and obviously run for RNC and help change the national party.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's been all blessing, right, to run the RNC.
It's all glory.
Sometimes you think, I wish I had won that seat.
That's exactly right.
So I know you have two children.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of meeting Jack. Would you encourage them to run for office one day?
You know, I think so. I mean, I think it's a really important thing to do. And, you know, I loved politics early in life. And my grandfather from Greece was a big influence on me. And I'm sure, you know, I'm going to be an influence on my kids. And I think being involved in politics is really important, being involved in government, you know. And I think, you know, God calls us to be salt and light in everything that we do. And I think that being involved in politics and government and doing what we do, I think, at the party, at both parties in Washington and the states, what you do, I think it's all part of a great American process that people should be a part of.
I hear maybe your third grader, maybe Jack, is already involved in a little
He
politics.
is. Well, it was kind of funny. He ran for student government, and two people were going to win. There's 24 kids in the class. 19 ran. So if you want to, you know, okay, we're going to teach you about
19 kids ran in the class? Okay.
Right. So now is a little lesson on micro-targeting. Okay, here are the 5 that aren't running. So it turns out that my son Jack won, and the campaign manager of Marco Rubio's daughter won. So those are the two winners.
Sort of a Twilight moment there.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Tell him we said congratulations.
Right, so I got the report from the other father that, hey, the kids won. So we were pretty excited. Because, hey, the youth outreach starts.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Well, and as everybody knows, you have to start early.
Right. So my kids are named Jack and Grace. So back to your first question, my wife and I, Sally, went the opposite direction of my parents. So some traditions are worth ending. My name's one of them.
So yeah, this is a name everyone will recognize when they walk across the stage to get their college diploma.
Right.
Speaking of your wife, she was your high school prom date?
That's right. So my wife and I met in high school, actually a church youth group. And then we dated in high school, went to prom together, kind of split up a little bit more in college, and then we got back together again while I was in law school.
And did you, so she lived, obviously, I mean, you would come home on vacations and stuff from college, so you saw her.
Right. I mean, so we saw, she moved from where she was in the Midwest out to Ventura, California.
Oh.
And then we kind of got back together.
I just heard you had a unique first date. So
well, we did. It's sort of dorky, but we did go to a movie afterwards, but it was a Lincoln Day dinner with Jim Sensenbrenner and Henry Hyde. I thought like I was going to impress her.
Oh, wow, that's so
it was
romantic.
really goofy. I know, nothing smells romance like Jim
Like
Sensenbrenner and Henry Hyde,
Yeah.
right? But
And
no.
she still married you after that.
Yeah, I don't think she was really watching too closely, but we did go to a movie afterwards, and it was actually Christmas Vacation.
Jim Sensenbrenner, Henry Hyde, the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for joining us and letting us get to know you a little better.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Candy.
it. Reince Priebus, Chairman of the Republican National Committee.